All right, let's speak to security strategist Andy Mashaile on this particular story and other developing stories. Good evening to you, and thank you so much for your time. Perhaps we start with this particular witness. His name had come up quite a number of times as far as this particular drug bust is concerned. What are your impressions of him as a witness and what he's said so far?
Mongiwe, good evening to you and to the production team. And I'm passing my gratitude to the Pastor Moloi who's borrowed me the church from whence I speak. Bongiwe, the commissioners indicated that it is hard to believe what he was saying. I found it difficult also when he kept on a certain line of responding, and when pressed, he would change and say Ngiyavuma. There is truth in what Commissioner Khumalo was saying. Long story short, an unreliable witness.
And when we listen to what he's had to say, even from what he's told the commission, once again, it's becoming very clear that something that had been, getting clearer in terms of a picture over time is again emphasized. And this is another huge drug bust, and it seems that people who are not properly trained are sent to this particular scene to deal with this important story. What could be at play behind the scenes if you're going to be deploying people who do not seem to know what to do or don't have the relevant experience?
The commanders are mavericks, and they would want to steal some of those drugs for their own use or their own benefit. And what they will want to do is to send inexperienced members who then bungled up, and the commander would then find excuse in blaming that inexperienced member after stealing a few bricks for themselves or for their benefit. As we are picking up in the questions from the commissioners with regard to what exactly happened, where the drugs booked out of Isipingo 13 register and into Isipingo storage, you realize that there is a line of thinking that confuses the witness itself with regard to helping us and the commission understand what the instructions were from Lieutenant Colonel Jacobs.
And the issue of resignations, his resignation, for example, coming into sharp focus as well to say, when did you decide to do this? Why did you decide to do this? And he says that he had already indicated that he wanted to resign even before the cocaine was allegedly stolen. But then when he is asked about his letter, which says that he's resigning with immediate effect, there doesn't seem to be a direct answer there. And he's not the only one. Major General Seizure, of course, we were also told, has resigned. What are we to read into this?
Number one, do an audit, a lifestyle audit. Let's check how much they have in their bank accounts. Number two, what we are supposed to learn from these shenanigans is the simple logic that in terms of the heat, or in a space where the heat comes back to them, these individuals calculate that resignations would come in handy for them, as we have seen with Ntate Senona not wanting to face any disciplinary action from subs and be fired. Now, I'm not as too sure whether Warrant Officer Mbongeleni or Mbongiseni had in his plans to save himself from the heat that might come with the investigations of these drugs that would have gone missing. One is not certain because he has said he doesn't wish to explain in public his reasons for resignation. I would have been very much interested in finding out, for analytical purposes, why is it that he would resign with immediate effect?
And there is, you speak about the hit, in fact, the heat rather. This evening, we are, of course, reporting on Witness K having been arrested. And this is yet another, arrest when it comes to the precious stones matter. And these particular investigations, of course, also we've heard extensive testimony about in the Madlanga Commission. Just your take on the latest developments.
Bongiwe, I am so much happy to see the work of the Madlanga Commission transforming from doing an inquiry to enforcement through the special investigation task team that would do further investigation, unearth evidence, and go after those that have been identified to have committed crime. That includes the capture of police, and that includes police going out in full uniform to rob members of the community, like in this case, where there was cooperation between Julius Mpangase and some people from JMPD and those that we have seen, some of those who were acquitted either this morning or yesterday morning. I saw one gentleman being acquitted. So this says to you and I, there might have been more information that came from that acquitted individual, or those individuals that have that still have to have their day in court and face the might of the law.
As a final one then, in another investigation this evening, we are breaking the news of 2 soldiers who have died in an abandoned mine shaft. And we did hear from the police as to the circumstances that led to this. They found themselves in a shaft that was filled with water and unfortunately then subsequently lost their lives as they were trying. Then one was trying to rescue the other and things took a turn for the worse. Just this particular operation is also one that is quite delicate, quite dangerous. Let's perhaps speak about the security measures that also need to be put in place for those who are conducting this particular operation, Prosper.
Bongiwe, my condolences to the families of those SANDF members who perished in the line of duty. Let us make a call out to government to say, in the pursuit of the criminals who are commonly known as the Zamazamas, let there be that technology be used. I know in the army they have huge drones that can be sent down in there, very huge drones. Huge, I mean, almost a desk size kind of a drone that I have seen somewhere else when there was an operation. Going in there, Bongiwe, it's very, very dangerous. Unfortunately, there are no any other means to go into those holes when chasing the suspect. And the soldiers as well as police members not knowing the tunnels from where these illegal miners would be hiding themselves, besides drowning and dying of water and being sucked into the mud. The Zamazamas carry serious weaponry, and we would need to approach this matter differently in terms of, once again, intelligence.
Appreciate your time. Thank you for speaking to us, and certainly a lot of questions as the police are now investigating the deaths of these SANDF members, and really just what do they do now, as you say, with regards to the approach to this particular operation. Appreciate your time. Security Strategist Andy Mashaile speaking to us about the developments in the Madlanga Commission, the arrest of Witness K, as well as the deaths of those 2 SANDF members.